and today we have a reading for you about somebody that really thought they had the advantage here. It's kind of like if you were playing some childhood like neighborhood game and there was some way to cheat, or if you're playing Monopoly, you stole some money from the bank. This cat is sitting here looking at the mice like, I've got everything that I need. I can control the whole situation. So I'm going to win. Of course I'm going to win. But we have the Five of Swords and it's coming through in the reverse because whatever this person's plan was to, I don't know, like game the system or take money from somebody, it's not going to work because they've underestimated whoever they're working against. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hello, James. Hello, Rachel. How we doing? If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. You can also find in my description box how to become a member. Thank you to the current members, and also the link to my Etsy. Ooh, I have to do the edit to my name. All right, let's dive in. I think we're going to start with the Hocus Pocus. Hello, Joaquin. Hello, Baby Yoda. How are we doing? Are you talking to me, Baby Yoda? No? That's not something I do. And Rachel, I think you've earned being a little bit of a lazy bones. No? To Sunday. I've been painting, and I probably still have paint at least like underneath my fingernails. But it's been nice. Hello, OJ. How are you doing? We have Temperance. This is like, why do I feel like this is the perfect storm? So maybe this is someone who is a betting man or somebody who feels like they understand odds or risk. And they felt like they could go up against whatever this was and they would be able to handle it. It's like showing up to fight the school bully at lunch and not realizing that the bully's sidekick is going to join in too. There's something here where it's like, I'm, confident things will go all right, but then now all of a sudden, like, the rules have changed, or there's like more of you than I expected. I suppose the more proper comparison would have been the bully was surprised that you brought a friend. Because I do kind of feel like if someone were to be the bully, it's the person who didn't win or isn't getting their way, and they feel like they're superior for some reason. Knight of Lightning or Knight of Swords and the Nine of Candles or Nine of Candles, Nine of Wands. This is starting to look like we might have another situation that involves breaking the law. It seems to have been a common theme lately. Yes. So Rachel, I started like last summer with oil, so I'm still kind of a newbie, but it's really fun with those like palette knives. So we've got the Seven of Pumpkins or Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Like, I shouldn't have to put in too much effort and I should be able to win. This will be easy. I'm not even going to study before the test. I'm not going to like stretch out before I go to, fight this person in the schoolyard. I'm just going to go and everything will be fine because I assume I'm going to be victorious. So another pride goeth before the fall, it would seem. Hello, Matthew. How's it going? Yes, I do, Rachel. I was just talking about that earlier today. I really like to mix different types of paint. but I was going to try to add spray paint on top of the oil, and then I read up on it and realized because of the oil that wouldn't really work out. So I have to do the spray paint on the background. Five of Swords in the reverse again. We had that at the very beginning from the other deck. Eight of Swords in the reverse. There's like some big reveal here. Like, oh yeah, you thought you were going to win. You thought you were going to, you know, reign victorious, or everyone was going to choose you for homecoming queen. But actually there's someone else. This is not about who's going to be homecoming queen, just to let you know, but there is some element here where there's multiple people involved, and I feel like this Knight of Swords, the person who's impulsive and thinks that they've got everything figured out and they're like top dog, they don't realize there's other people involved. They don't realize like they picked a fight, but the person they picked a fight on maybe has like a big brother. Yo, when I was in like middle school and people like to do those like, I'm gonna beat you up, stupid threats. Not that it stops in middle school, but when I was first exposed to that kind of BS, I remember trying to like tell someone that I was gonna get my big brother out there, and you know, he would fight on my behalf because my brother's quite a bit older than me. Didn't really let him know that the brother wasn't even in the same state. But this is like, I got some brothers, I got some friends, I got a whole crew. You start a fight with me, they'll start a fight with you. I rhymed, you guys. Are you proud of me? So, I have another rhyme for you. They bit off more than they can chew. They cannot do this. They don't have the brain power or the manpower. Possibly horsepower, but, you know, they're not going to make... They're not going to make the victory happen that they envision in their mind, because they are, it's like tunnel vision. I only see one thing, and there's actually all of this other environmental stuff that I've dismissed that's actually quite important. It might be other people. Hello, July. How are you doing? Hello, Bearcat. Hello, Jamaica. How are we doing today? Would I fight Cardi B for 100K? I don't know, man. I kind of like Cardi. Here's the thing. I don't listen to her music very much, but when I do, I kind of like it. I feel like she tells the truth. I don't think I could support all of her activities or approaches to life, but live and let live. You know what I mean? So I'm not really like, I don't know. I'm a lover. I will like, I will do vilification tennis instead. How about that? Do you guys know what that is? It's from the Renaissance Festival. I don't know if they do it everywhere, but vilification tennis is where you just lob like old school insults at people. I don't think I'll get in trouble if I give my favorite example. But you have to look it up. I'm not going to tell you what it means. But what I learned at vilification tennis was that you could call people sausage wallet. I think it's Elizabethan. I don't know if it still works now, you guys, but you can try it out. See if it works. I don't know if Azalea Banks can add anything. She's kind of weird. I don't know about trust her. I don't really know about all that stuff, you know? Hello, Oscar. How are we doing? Hello, David. How's your day? Hey, Crazy Fox Lover. Do you just say that in the comments to try to make sure that you get a little shout out? Huh? Hello, Zats. How are you doing? Three of Potions, or the Three of Cups, following the Sun in the reverse. Plus the Seven of Swords. Oh, galley. This is like... Why is this so funny to me? This is like somebody who is a bit They don't read the room. They don't really pick up on cues. They don't look at details. They're not very observant. They're very quick to be like, well, of course I have the right answer. You don't know anything. This person would be completely unfamiliar with the Socratic method. I think we have a lot of assumptions, a lot of like, I'm better than you, right? So this could be someone who assumes that because of some like title or position within the community or within the company. This could be someone who has just never been told that they're not that great. But this is someone who is pretty confident that they're smarter than somebody that they are actually not at all smarter than. And so this Seven of Swords is someone who feels like they can play some sort of a trick. They can do some sort of a scam here, and they're gonna walk away feeling quite brilliant, having gotten what they wanted without having to actually work too hard for it. But instead, it ends up causing them problems. It's like they get zapped. It doesn't work out well for them. You're funny, Rachel. I'm glad to hear that, Zots. That's just ridiculous, Crazy Fox. But I suppose you have it in your name. Okay, so if it was a one-time thing, this is Sane Fox. I just figure since you're Crazy Fox, you might want to meet somebody who's sane. And Sane Fox says it's not pre-recorded. I happen to really like foxes, okay? But that'll be the last I respond to you, just so you know. Just kidding. What else do we have? This is the Tarot of the Nile. Four of Pentacles. Another Wheel of Fortune. Why do I feel like this is someone who thinks that they can like take money from you or trick you into buying something that doesn't exist? Oh yeah, these Ray-Bans are real. They will cost $6 though. You want to come check out my Louis Vuitton? Since I'm mentioning brand names, I think I have to make sure I also say I'm not getting paid for any of that. I think we have a scammer here. We have somebody who thinks they know all of the ways to take things from other people, but they don't expect to encounter someone who like knows how to figure out their IP address. I don't know. Knows how to figure out what they're up to. Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups in the reverse. So I used to troubleshoot. I don't think I really want to tell you what, but when I would troubleshoot, when you get to know a product pretty well, you also then get pretty adept at figuring out when people are lying to you about what really happened to whatever thing they're calling you about, right? This is like, if you lack that depth of experience, if you don't have the experience day in, day out of dealing with the problems or, you know, fixing or tweaking or replacing things, then you probably have a lot of opportunity to sound like an idiot when you're trying to talk to someone who does know about those things. So I feel like this is someone who is assuming you don't speak a language and then they talk crap about you in that language and you're over here like, what do you mean you don't like my face? What's wrong with my face? And why are you telling that guy? Like, what did I do to you? Hey, that's creepy, John. And I think you should reconsider how you approach people. I'm putting you in a little time out. Look, I don't have a problem with the religious beliefs, but I think you really need to think about what kind of intro you have. If you were to like be a little bit tolerant, you might actually have some really great conversations with people about their beliefs. You might pick up some new perspective, or you might be able to actually proselytize, which I'm guessing is what your goal is. Don't scare people off with cologne, you know? Page of Cups in the reverse. We've got somebody who is a little bit delusional. But I also feel like this is somebody who expects the same offer to work on multiple people. It's like they are telling you that the dress they're selling is one size fits all, but it's not one size fits all. Because they encounter someone who figures out their scam. And this person's like, I don't think I'm going to fall for that, but I think I'm going to maybe like report this. Maybe it's time that this person learn a little bit of a lesson when they think that they're playing with people that they can, I don't know, take money from. Let's make sure that they get a little bit more nervous about doing that. There's this guy on YouTube. I don't think I'm going to be able to remember his name, but I remember watching a video where he was able to like access the security cameras in a facility where they were doing scamming. And hilarity ensues, of course, because I think he like showed the feed to them like, oh, I'm watching you right now, nice sweater. We have someone here who is hiding and smart and calls out this Knight of Swords and says, hey, that's weird. You said that you were selling XYZ, but that was discontinued. Or it says that this is an exclusive agreement and you can only buy it at insert a random big box store here, because I'm not going to say any of them. I know that you're lying. And even though this might have worked for you in the past, or you might have been able to pull the wool over some other people's eyes, what you're doing is actually illegal. And I'm going to figure out what you're doing. I'm going to report it to people. I feel like this is someone who runs into an individual who is maybe even associated with investigating fraud, or worked for a social media company, or software engineer. And it's like, I think I can figure this out. Yes, that is true. Thank you, Rachel. Hello, Teresa. Please call me Carmen. Hello, Joshua Tree. That's true. You know, Lemonade has permission to call me Caramel. Well, I think you probably say caramel. That's just, it's like a whole extra syllable. I don't have time for it. Temperance in the reverse. The Empress. This is like, I know what you're doing. I'm on to you. And if this is an episode of Scooby-Doo, I'm like, I'm reporting you, and then cut to the part where you say, and I would have got away with it too. This person gets caught, and they get caught by someone who knows who to talk to, or who has the cojones to go file a complaint. They're like, okay, let's make sure that you can't continue to be a twat. Hello, Melissa. How are we doing? Oh, are you missing some? I don't know. Does that happen? I don't think that happens. What else do we have? Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Five of Swords. Judgment. So I feel like there's a fake out, like someone who's kind of toying with this person, letting them think they're going to get some money. Kind of like if people were to say, okay, I bought this like gift card, here it is. And then the person's mad because, you know, you've already used the card and they went through all that trouble. There's something here, it's like, I'm going to keep you busy for a little bit. I'm going to make you think that you could actually potentially get some money out of me, or I am dumb enough to fall for your scam. And then all of a sudden there's going to be like a candid camera moment, or like whistles blowing, or something that scares the poop out of you, and you realize you're not getting money, you're just getting in trouble. Realizing that somebody has figured out where you're operating from or what, I don't know, vicinity of legal ramifications apply. I think this is someone who's really good with technology. Being able to figure out this scammer's technique and report them and make sure that they don't get money from others. But not only that, I feel like they also get fined. Maybe this person actually goes to jail. But with the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like this is primarily focusing on, I want to make sure that you don't take money from anybody else or, you know, new people. But I also want to make sure that if there's legal consequences that will prevent you or make you see that it's actually like really not your best option, then maybe you'll stop doing what you're doing. What do we want? We'll go with the cats rule the earth. Hello, Night Fox. How you doing? Can I call you Mango? That's a long word. Let me know if that's not okay. Hello, Earth Angel. How you doing? Oh, Lord. Hey, Martin. You want to follow your own advice? If that's what you think this is, anyways. I can assist if you would like. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I really do. I also hope you find some better use of your time. I did some painting today. It put me in a wonderful mood, if you can't tell. So maybe that would help, right? Y'all are funny. So I don't like it, but we've got quite the combo here. The Magician and the High Priestess in the reverse. It's almost like American Horror Story level, okay? Not good. And then what do we have after that? I think we do have somebody who has broken the law. I do think we have somebody who has misread the situation or taken too many chances. They thought they could manipulate a system or a group of people. They thought that they could navigate like a script or figure out how to break into people's accounts. Whatever they've been doing, they can't do it anymore. Because there's someone here who wants to do the right thing, and now that they're on to this person, or now that they've become aware of this Knight of Swords, they're like, well, gonna have to make sure that the proper authorities are alerted. No worries, Rachel. Sounds good, Mango. What else? Ace of Swords in the reverse and the Four of Pentacles. So this feels like bad news. Realizing that information has updated in a negative way, such as somebody's bank account. Realizing that authorities are maybe knocking on the door and they're saying, hey, we really need to know how it is that you're making your money. We just need to take a quick look at your bank account, or we just need to make sure that you are not this person who received this money fraudulently. It's not good news. They're like, what? No. And then like the profuse sweating meme. Yeah, that happens next. Because they felt like they were never going to meet somebody who could actually figure them out or expose them for what they're doing, but they met their match. It happened so quickly. I don't think they expected to be, I don't know, kind of surprised by this. Because again, they seem to overestimate their intelligence, feeling like they're always the smartest person in the room, right? Hello, Carrie. How you doing? Hello, Nat Nat. What do we want? Nah, we'll go with the situations deck. That's true. Very true. Hello, April. How's your weekend going? What else do we have? Family, blood ties, inner circle. I feel like this is someone who was able to figure out what was going on in part because of family connections. Oh, well, this person works in law enforcement and this person's a lawyer. And between the two of us, we were able to figure out why you were messing with my Aunt Bessie. There's some protective energy, and I feel like it's family looking out for family to make sure that financial support is not misplaced. See how it says government, though? I feel like we got somebody who works for the government. Divine Feminine. Maybe because you come through as kind of a compassionate or kind individual, people think that they can take advantage of you without realizing that you also might have quite a bit of intelligence. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some sort of paying back, or you might have to go to jail, not you, this person, because of someone getting caught taking money or trying to scam someone. They couldn't help it. They kept coming back to doing this same line of work, whatever it might be. For some of you, this could be someone who likes to pursue individuals romantically in order to scam them out of money. It doesn't have to all be through the computer. And I guess that could also be like the long distance thing, right? But I do think we have someone who was finding it difficult to let go of whatever this scam or this trick was, but they tried it with the wrong person. And now we have somebody who's saying, okay, well, I think it's time for you to actually like learn a lesson about that. We have come together, reconciliation, spiritual union, soul contract. And I feel like even though this is kind of a romantic thing, which could hint to like maybe it was a romantic pairing, right? I feel like this is more so we have family working together to combat a problem on behalf of someone who's like, we care about this person. This is not okay. And here's the information that we have on this person. Let's figure it out. So I feel like there's an investigation. Alien, telepathic, dreams, songs. So somebody would try to make some, like paint a picture, very like fantasy based, right? You're gonna go on a great vacation, or, oh, this is like the romance of a lifetime, or here's the dream house that you've been looking for, but suddenly it's like, you know, half the price that you think it's supposed to be. We have someone who's nervous now because whatever offer they made or tried to make, now it's gotten them in trouble. Whatever they were trying to say is real, legitimate, or brand name, or registered, or certified, or whatever, it's not true. And now there's someone from the law who's knocking on their door. And it's never just like a light knock, you know? Let's see. I think we need the Kipper. The Kipper has that imprisonment card. We'll see if that comes out. Hello, Moon. What's up? Yes. I think that's appropriate. Hello, Karen. I do not speak Persian, but I do speak Spanish. Does that help? Probably not. We have expectation, number 28. And change. So what they expected to happen, the success they were expecting, or the easy money they thought they were going to be able to get, and now they're feeling like they need to move or even flee because there's undesired attention, probably this investigation. So we could even have somebody who's thinking that they should leave the country. That seems like inadvisable. Unexpected income. We'd like you to explain how you made this money. It's a simple question. Oh, you don't want to tell me because it broke the law? Oh, let me guess. You're a babysitter. They can't explain the money. It was buried under the house when I bought it? Huh? Is that believable? No, in fact, it's not. They don't have any way to explain how they went from not having the money that they needed, not being able to pay bills, and probably not having a regular job to all of a sudden now they did have money. So because there's money that they cannot trace to a viable job or legitimate job, the investigator is like, okay, so it seems pretty likely then that you might be this person with this IP address who's been targeting members of the community, maybe even like at large, right? International. But you've been targeting people and stealing money. That's what it looks like from here. And now that you've said you can't explain how you got all that money, like, am I missing something? Is there some other job? Some pay stubs that you have? Okay, well then I think we have to take you to jail. Whoops. So, not probably the outcome that they were hoping for. Do we want? No, we'll go with the, what's the news? Yeah, but Stephen, the Bible also says that I can't wear clothing that has two different types of like material. I would be willing to bet that you're doing that right now. I think the most important thing we can do, Stephen, is to assess the influences around us, whether that is social media or a news channel or your friends, whether or not the information or the intentions there are based in fear or love. That'll solve a lot of problems for you. You won't have to judge so many people. Hello, Crowfire. How are you doing? I just think it's a good idea to acknowledge that some of those directions or pieces of guidance in the Bible were written a really long time ago. You know, things that we probably need to acknowledge are not applicable or would not be expected of us today. And I also think that we get gifts for a reason. So look for the intention. We have frenemy and lust. Ooh. Fake friends and greed. Yeah. Scamming energy, even if they knew their target, even if this was like an acquaintance. Now this says lust at the top, but I do feel like this is specifically about finances. The thing to keep in mind is if the goal was to get money, they may have had to use desire in order to get that money. Yeah. This is somebody who was using their looks or using their physical prowess to get close to people that they thought that they could steal from, or maybe even catfishing people with pictures that were not them, hoping that they could get money from people. But they chose the wrong person. They were going for a bigger fish, thought they could get some more money, and they end up encountering somebody who has family that's very protective of them and probably works for law enforcement. So, womp, 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 womp. Hey, Galaxy King, how are you doing today? Let's see what else we've got. We'll go with the Gold and the Normand. Hello, Kat. How's it going? Yes, Zaz, I think that would be an appropriate comparison. Hello, what's up, all queens? Hello, true engagement. Oh, I like it. Quite perceptive. I hope you're having a good weekend. I don't even like spam in a can, thank you. Would you like it in a martini glass? Would it feel fancy then? We have the Scythe, which is number 10, and the Moon, which is number 32. You thought you were hiding, you thought you were crafty, you thought you could hide behind a different username or thought you could catfish someone. But the truth is, there are people who know how to find you. There are people who figured out what you're up to. And now they're feeling pretty threatened because there's no easy way to talk out of, well, to talk their way out of like how this like money showed up. Where did this come from? Were you working a job? No? Okay, well, our records seem to indicate that you actually stole it. Who, me? Couldn't be. What is that from? Is it just the cookie from the cookie jar thing? I think so. So we have the woman, number 29. I feel like this is who's being protected. We have a reference to a divine feminine, and we have the woman card here. Quite often I say that the gender in this tarot or oracle decks, it doesn't have to equate to actual physicality. But we could have somebody who's feeling particularly protective of somebody who may be like an older woman, to be honest. Otherwise, the divine feminine energy is the yin energy, which talks about compassion and loving and being open to, you know, caring for others or being charitable. And that could be what this person was looking for in terms of who am I going to pick on? Who is good prey? Well, they look for that, like, oh, could you be a doormat? Could you like potentially, you know, feel like you have to do something to help me? Then I'll go for you. But they chose the wrong person, someone that they underestimated, because we have the girl and the woman, right? It's like, I thought you were going to be naive. I thought you were going to be ignorant to what could potentially be going on or how to like hunt me down if I did something that I shouldn't have. But they should have been a little bit more selective when picking out who they wanted to, you know, scam. Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm gonna leave it there, everyone. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to. And thank you for checking out the candles on Etsy. I'll see you on the next reading. Toodles.